today. Oh, we're gonna be talking about the Risk of Rain 2 DLC that released yesterday. That it's shit. Woo bam! How you doing? Here's a lit. Oh, race has a giant ass document. First of all, Acrid takes fall damage. IDP discovered that one. Mercenary has like his sword. His sword swipes, like drags the screen back and forth every time you use your M1. It's here. I'll play a video of it. So here's the bug list. So this is just race. This race all of these bugs, by the way. Also, Gearbox tied. Yeah, Gearbox tied like some movement abilities to the amount of FPS that you have. So the higher FPS, the faster the abilities go. They timed it to like frame amounts. It's the dumbest shit ever. How do you like hello? Also, the final boss is broken. They broke Mithrix. Here's why Merc M1 has a screen pull to it. Listen, this is my raw reaction to this. What the fuck? You see how the screen jiggles? You see how the screen jiggles? It didn't used to do that. I've played Mercenary for 150 fucking hours. The character did not used to do that. What the fuck? It like jiggles the screen. Why? That's terrible. My stomach is like, ugh, looking at that. It's like, it's so bad. Screen jiggles. I don't know why. Why? And here's the list of bugs that Sprinkles just sent me. Look at this. Xbox can't even launch. Yeah, the Xbox can't even launch the DLC. Screen decided to get jiggy with it? Yeah. Aspects are 100 times more likely to drop, and when you have them, you might just lose half your... So that's what race meant.
There's no way.
Seeker, the revive character, doesn't revive. Thank you! I charged up a full revive when IDP was playing, and it just didn't work! IDP just didn't revive, and then I died, and then we lost the run. Like, do I have to activate it or something? Like, no? I haven't played... I wouldn't know. I haven't played the DLC yet. Just don't. I'm gonna down patch it after I play with friends and probably never touch the game, because haven't been touching the game recently. Phase 4 Mithrix won't die if it has an item. What game is this? Risk of Rain 2. If the boss has an item, you can't damage it. Did you not test it? The boss is literally designed to take your items. How do you not test if it breaks with items when it's designed to take your items? Like, ugh! How? How are you this bad at game development? Huh? How do you design... I don't understand. How do you have a boss that takes your items and you don't test it with the new items that you add? It's like... I would say fire the whole goddamn QA team, but I know they don't have one. Also, all the items suck. Complete ass, by the way. All the new items, they're just so bad. They just bloated the item pool. The game is like not playable on E8. They shit all over it. All the items are like, whenever you take damage, do this. Whenever you get hit, do this. Well, on Eclipse 8, if you get hit, you die. Like, and past like 25 minutes into the run, you get one shot anyway. So all this on...
Not sleep that you
all this take damage stuff just doesn't synergize with the way that you play the game on Eclipse 8. It just doesn't work. It legit made Dan cry on screen. Yeah, on stream. IDP and I were playing, and we played for an hour and a half. We played like 3 or 4 runs, and we're like, this is just shit. I tried the new Seeker character. She hits like a wet noodle. Like, the movement is so clunky on E8. You take perma damage for having the move. Let's just play Minecraft. Let's play a good game. What is this shit? Yeah, we're talking about Risk of Rain, the Risk of Rain 2 DLC that released that you should not get. The DLC feels like what would happen if Minecraft Java suddenly became Bedrock. That is a perfect analogy because that's exactly what they did. They took the console physics and just shoved it in the middle of the PC version of the game. That's exactly what they did. Like that is the perfect analogy. If you have no idea about what Risk of Rain 2 is, but you know what Minecraft is, which I assume most of you do, imagine if they took Bedrock physics, shoved it in Java, and then broke Java mechanics at the same time. Like, imagine if the Ender Dragon couldn't die sometimes. Oh, and they made the Minecraft mechanics. Imagine if they tied TPS to your FPS. So if you turned your FPS up, your ticks per second, your TPS would go up. That's what they did. That's what they did. Imagine you take your TPS and you turn up your FPS and your TPS goes up. Like, hello? What are we doing? What are we doing? 144 hertz monitor for the win. Except, imagine you dash, right? Imagine you dash. Like, you know how when you lag, your fireworks last longer? Well, in Risk of Rain 2, if you turn your TPS up, they would only go this far. Your attacks, your dashes don't go as far. Your abilities end faster, which when there are damage over time is really bad, because they just immediately stop, and you lose damage. It's the dumbest, like, I expect... I'm sorry, if anybody says the DLC is anything but garbage on release, I think I'm not going to support them anymore. It is objectively terrible on release. It is in an unreleasable state. They had another DLC, right? Where, it was Survivors of the Void. Great DLC, great theming, great additions. It also had bugs on day one. But you know what? It was playable. It was good. And then they fixed the bugs a week. You know, they released a couple patches, and it ended up being a really good and enjoyable expansion with good items, you know, good theming. The Voidlings kind of sucks, but that's for a different reason, right? That's boss design, right? I would much rather be complaining about boss design than the fact that the game is unplayable on Xbox. If I would love to be able to get to a point where I can complain about the False Sun's boss design, and instead of how shitty the character model looks. I would love to get to that point. But because enemies phase through the fucking walls, I have to talk about that before talking about the character design. Yes, the enemies can walk through walls. Yes, the collision, like, the feet of the player model phase through the ground because they can't actually texture the ground properly. Like, ugh! I would much rather talk about, you know, be in a Survivors of the Void scenario where I'm talking about bad boss design. And have that really be the only bad apple in the barrel of good, you know, the barrel of a good update that the Survivors of the Void DLC was. But no, the game isn't playable on Xbox. Like, the main menu is the final boss. Honestly, Hopu never should have sold it. But that's what you do when you're an indie game company. Your goal is to get bought out, and I don't blame them. I cannot blame them. If you ever want to play Risk of Rain 2, don't buy the Seekers of the Storm DLC. It will break your game. Unsurprisingly, the Discord is full of people going, "This fucking sucks, fix all these bugs." Yeah. And they removed some cool text too. They removed, like, host skipping and... How do you tie abilities to FPS and not tick rate? What are you doing?